What is the first step / how to master the first step in sales?
Ooh, how do you master the first step in sales? The answer with that is repetition. That's pretty much how you master anything. You get good content and you practice with repetition and accountability. You make sure that if you want to master the first step in sales, first of all, you got to learn what it is. Secondly, you have to do it over and over and over and practice and get really, really good at it. Sales is just like being in an MMA cage, right? The more you practice, the better off you are. The more you sweat, the less you bleed. You walk into an MMA cage totally unprepared, you're more than likely going to get your ass kicked. Same thing happens in sales. So how do you master the first step in sales? You first figure out what it is, and I'm going to tell you what it is in just a minute. And then secondly, you practice doing it so many times that you become excellent. You master the first step. It becomes almost like second nature. So what is the first step in sales? That might be a better question. How do you master it? You figure out what it is. Do you know what it is? A lot of people think it's the introduction. It's the meet and greet. It's not. The first step in sales is preparation. The first step in sales is to prepare yourself for the engagement. Prepare yourself for the game. Prepare yourself for the fight, for the dance, for the war. You got to prepare yourself. So how do you prepare yourself? Well, number one, you do a checkup from the neck up. You make sure that all your problems are gone. You get rid of all the things that have been bothering you throughout the day. You eliminate all the things that are worrying you. You start to think about things. Even if you have to meditate for 5 minutes, just clear your mind and think about clouds and frickin' hummingbirds and frickin', butterflies, and you really just put yourself in a very, very calm state of mind. That's a preparation technique. Then you want to make sure that you're prepared. And again, there's so many ways to prepare, but you want to prepare yourself mentally. You want to prepare yourself intelligently, which means, what are you going to be talking about in this sales situation? Are you aware of everything that you need to be aware of to position yourself as an expert? Because what you really want to do nowadays when you're selling is to not sell. You want to build relationships. So when you say, what is the first step in sales? Preparation is the first step in sales. How do I master the first step? You prepare yourself consistently. You prepare yourself intelligently. You make sure that you are ready. That is how you master it, and you do it over and over and over again. You do it so many times it becomes second nature, and you find yourself mentally preparing, physically preparing before you have a conversation at all. That's how you master it, okay? Make sure that your head's right. Make sure that your attitude's right. Make sure that you believe in possibility. Make sure that your teeth are shiny. Make sure your breath is fresh. Make sure you don't stink. Make sure you smell good. Make sure you understand what's going on in that selling situation. Do you know the terms and the rates and the finance charges and the options and the product? Are you an expert? You want to position yourself as an expert. That's part of being prepared. But that's technically how you master the first step in sales. Okay? Consistency and repetition is how you master pretty much anything. And don't fool yourself. The first step in sales is not the introduction. Preparation is the first step. If you hear any of these sales trainers out there telling you that the first step is the meet and the greet, dude, they are way behind the game. If you are not properly prepared, if you haven't prepared successfully, you can have a bad introduction. If you have a bad introduction, you can't move to the next step, which is basically gathering information so you can build value. Why is that? Well, you walk up, you're not necessarily prepared, you start fumbling, you start stumbling, you have a bad introduction, then you start asking questions, they don't want to give them to you, they cut the conversation short because you weren't prepared. You weren't ready. You didn't know the product, you didn't know the options. You don't want to do that. You want to be prepared. And then once you're prepared, now you have a good introduction, and now you have a better chance of getting the information that you really need, which is how to build value. Because if anybody wants to sell anything, you have to understand one thing. You simply have to raise the value of your product or service above the value of their money or whatever it is you're trying to get from them. You have to exchange value, and your value has to be higher than the value of what it is they have that you're trying to get. 9 times out of 10, it's money. Could be their time. Well, you have to increase the value of your proposition above the value of their time. How do you know what they value if you're not asking questions and listening for the answers? How do you ask good questions and listen and get good answers if you're not making a good introduction? How are you going to make a good introduction if you're not prepared? That's, my friend, how you master the first step in sales. Master yourself. Master the environment. Master your readiness. You don't get ready, you stay ready.